FNAF 3 holds one of the longest standing mysteries in the franchise, and at least to my knowledge, there hasn't been a satisfactory answer for it. You probably know what it is. It's the timeline placement of the Follow Me minigames. 5 minigames where one by one, William disassembles the core 4 animatronics, but in the process frees the spirits inside them. The spirits then scare him into the Spring Bonnie suit, and William is spring locked and rots away until FNAF 3. I'm sure you all knew that already though. But here's why the timeline placement is so mysterious and hard to solve. The minigame takes place in what appears to be the exact map layout of FNAF 1, but in a broken down state. There's water leaks and rats, or slippers as some like to call them, scurrying around the floor. Okay, so these minigames must take place after the closure of FNAF 1 then. Simple as that, mystery solved, right? Well, let me introduce you to perhaps the most inconvenient detail in all of FNAF, these buttons. You see, the FNAF 1 animatronics don't have buttons on their chests, only the Wizards do, which means this can't be after the closure of FNAF 1. Okay then, maybe this is another restaurant. We have 3 Freddy Fazbear Pizza locations to work with, not including Fredbear's Family Diner because it didn't have the core 4. We already established that it isn't the FNAF 1 location, so we're left with 2. The first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza that most speculate closed in 1985, and the FNAF 2 location that closes in 1987. Let's start with the first one. Maybe this happened after it closes but before FNAF 2 opens. After all, in FNAF 2, Phone Guy says,
"That old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while."
And this place is very much rotting, which would also explain how the animatronics became withered and broken in the first place. But this is immediately ruled out by the fact that William is active in the FNAF 2 location, clearly not spring locked. And just because I know someone's gonna bring it up, I'm aware that there's a set of people in the community that don't think this cutscene ever actually happened. I'm not here to debate that today, but all I'll say is, at the time of FNAF 3's release, there was no reason for us to believe Save Them didn't happen, or anything in these games was a dream, or something to do with illusion discs, okay? Even if this specific cutscene didn't happen, Phone Guy says in FNAF 2,
"Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it. Now none of them are acting right."
so we know William did something in 1987, and I just find it unlikely for William to have been spring locked so early in the timeline. With that out of the way, we have one location left to go, FNAF 2. And immediately, there's problems again. After FNAF 2, we know that they eventually restore the Wizards to be used in the FNAF 1 location. So if these Follow Me animatronics are supposed to be the Wizards, why does Bonnie have his head back on when his withered version doesn't? If we are to assume that this minigame happened after FNAF 2 closes but before FNAF 1 opens, then that means Fazbear's Entertainment renovated the entire restaurant and animatronics after FNAF 2 closes, but didn't open the FNAF 1 location until several years later. And also they left the buttons on for some reason, which they later take off, assuming this is after FNAF 2. You have to make a lot of assumptions to make this minigame work between FNAF 2 and 1. So now we're left with nothing. Do you see now why this is so hard to solve? But I'm not here to just give up on you. I'm going to try my best to give a decent explanation to this minigame, with some evidence you probably haven't seen before. One piece of evidence has to do with this animation of Purple Guy. Take a look at what he's holding here. It's not very detailed, in fact it's literally just 2 white blocks, but we can use some nearby clues to determine what it is. He's holding it close to his head, and it's flashing, indicating it's in use. I think what William's holding here is a phone, which I get is a bit ironic because one of MatPat's original theories said that this was a phone, meaning Purple Guy was Phone Guy, but that clearly wasn't the case. So it'd be weird for Scott to actually make Purple Guy hold the phone in the next game, but hear me out here. In the sister location cutscene, Michael starts off his dialogue with, "Father, it's me, Michael, I did it, I found it, blah 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 blah," you know the rest. But do you notice something about how it's phrased? He clearly isn't talking to William face to face here, because at the end he says, "I'm going to come find you." He's leaving a message. Why would he be leaving a message? Oh, I don't know, say maybe in response to another message? That's right, I think that in the final cutscene of the Follow Me minigame, William is leaving a message to Michael, and he's telling him where the sister location bunker is and what to do to put Elizabeth back together, which would mirror Michael's response. "I found it was right where he said it would be, I put her back together." I think William planned to put Elizabeth back together himself, but after being cornered by the spirits, he left it up to his son, Michael, to finish his work. I've looked, and I haven't found any theories that try to explain or even notice what this thing could be. I personally couldn't think of anything else it might be, and I think everything here happens after FNAF 1 closes. But wait, aren't I contradicting myself here? We already established that it isn't the FNAF 1 location, so we're left with 2. Like I said earlier, these animatronics have buttons, so they must be the Wizards, right? Well, here's where things get tricky. Let me make myself very clear here. I dislike when people people use Scott made a mistake, Scott retconned this, or Scott didn't have that planned at the time in their arguments or theories. I'm sure that it's true sometimes, but we have no way of knowing. Most of the time, they're just trying to mold all the details to fit their theory instead of the other way around. So I recognize how hypocritical this is to say, but I really think the buttons here were a mistake. Hear me out though, I do have some evidence for this. Take a look at the Foxy sprite from the Follow Me minigames. Something should stand out to you. Don't see it? How about the fact that Foxy here has legs like all the other animatronics instead of his signature metallic legs? Foxy has never had non-metallic stick legs, both in minigames and actual 3D models unless we're talking about other variations of him. In Save Them, he has metal ones. In Foxy Go Go Go, he also has metal ones. The only sprite I could find where he has legs like this is on the TV in FNAF 4, which is a cartoon. Okay, well maybe that's intentional. Maybe when Fazbear's opened in 1983, Foxy originally had full legs like all the other animatronics, but they withered away over time. So this minigame is possible if it happens shortly after 1983. Well, in Foxy Go Go Go, we get jump scared by Withered Foxy at the end of the minigame, which heavily implies we play as Withered Foxy, or at least Foxy before he was withered. But if you compare this sprite to the Save Them minigame one, where we know for a fact that this is Withered Foxy, it's clear that this Foxy isn't withered. His arms aren't metal and broken down here like the sprite in Save Them. And also he's performing in Pirate's Cove while the restaurant is still open for business before it decays and breaks down. As far as we know, this is the earliest appearance of a functioning and public Foxy in the timeline, which means that even in 1983, when Freddy's first opens, Foxy had these metallic legs. All of that to say, there is no universe where Foxy having full legs here makes sense. This, in my opinion, means Scott made a mistake with Foxy, and I'm proposing that Scott also made a mistake with Bonnie and Freddy by giving them buttons. I strongly believe this minigame takes place after FNAF 1, right before Sister Location. Also, while editing this video, I accidentally came across FNAF 1 Freddy's model from FNAF World, and he has buttons. So I think this adds to the case that Scott just isn't all that consistent with like non-realistic models, like Pixel Games and FNAF World. Anyways, Henry's speech in the Insanity ending in FNAF 6 supports this too.
He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again, and he robbed them of the only thing that they had again.
FNAF 6 happens at the absolute earliest in 2015, and that's being real generous. And Henry here is talking about what is implied to be the events of the Follow Me minigames, as if they were relatively recent. If Follow Me had happened, say, in the 80s, it'd be weird for him to talk about an event that happened 30 years ago as if it was recent, and only now is he doing something about it. So again, sometime after FNAF 1 seems the most likely to me. The 1983 location can work because William is active in 1987 and not Springlock. The 1987 location can't work because the toys are absent from Follow Me, the Withereds are magically no longer withered, and it's either a different building or completely renovated. So, even though we can't get the exact year, not yet at least, we can put this minigame solidly after FNAF 1 but before Sister Location. That pretty much wraps it up. Let me know what you thought and thanks for watching.